And yo, yo, yo to the yo, yo, yo for you. I made it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Second night of the Bitcoin Overnight Viewer Growth Hack. I'm doing this, okay? And just going to relax about it. I understand not everybody can show up during live, but somehow they find the event. And I do appreciate the replay viewers that do come in and check and see what I was all about. So I'll stay live, well, for however long I can. No guarantee that it will be longer than an hour, but something along those lines. We'll cover a few things. We'll go through some news stories. We'll check on the tweet deck, and I'll give you some links of some things that I found out about today that kind of blew my mind, in that there was a certain way to kind of, tell the Ruby, the elements of Ruby and how it all works and what it all means. And I heard something today, so I did some research, and so I'm going to talk about that a little bit. Don't have any show notes today. Probably will just really hang out with you guys, and not to put so much pressure on what's going on. So let's make sure that YouTube has us up and live. So let me bring down the hangout, which I need to do. And then we'll come over here, and sure enough, there we are. I'll go ahead and welcome. And I'll just kind of stick here until I'll pop out the chat. There we go. The one would be me. All right, so 2 charts. You have the BTC USD Coinbase pair on Ruby. It's the 5-minute. Second chart, which I won't show as much tonight, I don't think. And I need to kind of change up the price. I mean the time. 15-minute, another Coinbase chart, but with Bollinger and the Cardwell beta, and so there's a lot of note taking that's been going on with this build out now, coming into 3 years actually. A lot of note taking to see whether or not this thing has been built right, and then whether or not we can put an instructional or have to make serious changes to the formatting, and take our findings directly to the man himself to say about seeing the settings on plot rather than down below. We have my Twitter, and just keep an eye on the Twitter. And then, of course, the next thing. So this one here is us. And then this one here is the general Bitcoin, general YouTube. I don't know if I need that one up open or not. It doesn't seem to be putting too much. And then we'll keep an eye on the tweet deck. And then let's make sure that if we go Bitcoin, pardon me, go Bitcoin, and go Bitcoin Live. Let's see where we're at there. We are number, there we are right there. right here. So keep an eye on that. And go back to Ruby. Oh, the delay is bad today. That's all different. If you guys noticed that or not. I've got an idea. Do something a little different. Okie dokes. I'm not certain how long have we been up now. 56 minutes. Yeah, so that's about right. An hour. All right, so you can see that for the entire hour, really not much has happened. There's been some activity. I think that there are some people that are trying to play the chop. Can get very dicey to do that. You're much better off when you've got nice pickups from a good trend line or a good EMA. In this particular case, we're really looking at threading the 96. We have seen this many, many times, and it's just, if you can get good at it, it can be okay, but it's really just kind of filling the time. What we're looking at, if you kind of want to have my thesis a little bit, let me get rid of this and get rid of that one too. All right, so once again, we're in the 5-minute, right? And of course, Ruby is set up as an EMA stacking sequence built on the 60. I'll give you the 60 minutes so that you can see what happens when I move to the 60-minute. And you'll see a lot more markings on the 60-minute as well. So what happens is that I can drill down because all the markings and the code is set up so that it is a static or fixed on the 60-minute, which is built that way because the 60-minute is basically a standard. And so that makes it so that I can look at the 60 to get kind of, the healthier view, and then I can drill down to actually see what's happening with the candles that are timed as it relates back to the fixed EMAs. So here we are on the 60. For those of you that saw the chart we built yesterday, let me build out the 4-hour here so you can kind of see where things are. We have a couple of different, even from way back when, we have a couple of different Fibonacci swings that we put in and that have worked out fairly well. And we did a secondary Fibonacci swing as this channel started to develop. I also spoke about perfecting the channel. It's requested to, when you do a channel line and you're sharing it as a channel, not as a pattern, but that it be a clone. And so that's why, if you'll notice when I hover over, you'll notice that there's 2 dots, right? The one that catches the upper wick, and then of course it ray tools out on the clone feature a little bit away from the top here. So whether or not this is a channel that's in failure, we don't know just yet. I know that people are looking at potential head and shoulders, and they're thinking that the weakening right is acceptable. I'm not really so certain about this. We'll see what happens if we do get a pullback to the break. Break potential 56, 60, 10. I think we'll get a lot of people that'll start coming online and talking about that particular tag because it's an abyss if we lose that. There's a lot of downward pressure coming up from, of course, the superior highs. It's just all we're getting lower highs and lower lows, and of course the abyss into Ruby is very clear. When we go into it tight, like in the 5 minutes, now that you can see where we are in the 4-hour, let me get the chart back up to work for us there. You can see that as price came into Ruby, it stayed short for most, I don't know how long. We went into Ruby at 12:15 UTC yesterday, and we came out just after the midnight hour, and we came out of Ruby. I think that there's a lot of yip-yap about maybe this would hold, but the downward pressure is just really, really strong, and we're literally just in a holding pattern here. That's all that's going on. The 8 and the 12 are sandwiched together, which classically for Ruby is a no trade zone. It doesn't mean that you are not trading. It just means that there is a caution, what's called the tightening of Ruby's wallet, and we're just not going to play fancy pants when the trade looks like this. There's nothing for the trade to latch onto. If you did not pick up on the 243, which was the true trade, or session and a half off the 243 for the long, that was the true trade. And if you're still mucking around here, you're giving up, looks like more than half. If you are still thinking that maybe it'll swoop back up around, maybe you'll get another chance at another high. So it's still a curious trade. It's not over. And I'm hearing that people would really like to have less wishy-washy. The only thing that I can do is just remind you of where price is. Remind you of where price is and what it might be thinking, what the projection is of the direction of price. Right now, if you can't see it for yourself, we know that generally the trade is softened and it is short. Softened and it is short. The but in here is that it had a tremendous long off the 243. And I know that there's a lot of traders that would like to push this trade short to pick it up again at the 243. So that's really it. It's a complex situation right now. If you're looking for what to do or some sort of clarity, you can only really arrive at that on your own. Or you can read my disclaimer and be forewarned that everything that we do, pretty much all the forums that you're in, are for educational and entertainment purposes. And you always want to seek professional advice before you put together a trading thesis, before you even make your first trade, really. And also be forewarned, too, that if you're walking into some of the free forums, you have to really kind of think of that for yourself. I mean, this trade is not Costco, right? There's no snack giveaways and making you buy the $25 bag of meatballs. That is not what's happening. Now, you can find yourself in free forums and you're getting all this free stuff, and then all of a sudden there comes the guilt bot, or you've signed up and didn't realize that you got cookied on the exchange, and they're actually making residual income, passive income based on your participation. You might not be aware of that, but that's exactly what's going on. So here you're coming into a forum wanting trading advice, air quote trading advice, when actually they can't give it to you because they're more interested in the passive income that they're able to earn on their own that way, not by giving you trading advice. Okay? All right, so hope that helps, and I will go ahead and sign off now. Thank you so much for joining me, and for my replay viewers, thank you for being added onto the challenge. This has been the Bitcoin Overnight Viewer Growth Hack with BeautyBubble. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you guys real soon. Bye-bye now.